Starting out the list, we have Lamar Jackson. This season, Lamar's going to be a 96 speed, which should help you to scramble around the pocket. It's important to note that Madden 23 is trying to change the way that quarterbacks are used, so don't be surprised if having a solid pocket quarterback turns more into the meta than having a fast scrambling one. Next, we have Anthony Schwartz. He's a 69 overall wide receiver for the Browns, and just for that reason, I'm probably not going to be using him. I feel as though there are just better players on this list to use, but he is new to the league, so depending on how well he performs, we might see his card getting a ton of upgrades. But he's on the Browns, so the odds of this happening are slim to none. Next up, we have Tariq Woolen. He's our 8th fastest player in the game, and he's also not a wide receiver. He plays corner for the Seahawks, and personally, I think that Woolen is a must pick up later in the season just due to the fact that the whole list is basically filled up with wide receivers. He'll be able to keep up with some of the fastest, so it's at least an interesting idea. Now, will he go step for step with Tyreek? Probably not, but it is a big step up from the rest of the DBs in the game. That being said, he does only have a 66 overall card due to him being a rookie, so we'll need to see a ton of upgrades before we see him on every ultimate team. Another thing that I want to point out is that Madden is changing the way that they go about speed this season. They're trying to spread out the statistics so that the game doesn't go stale right away. Let's face it, throwing it up to a receiver that's burnt everyone is fun at the beginning of the game, but come month 2, it can get kind of boring. Madden's aware of this, so I think we'll see less speedy receivers in the meta come time for Madden 23. And now we have one of my favorite players for franchise mode, Marquise Brown. Brown can easily fall to you in any fantasy draft, and his speed alone makes him a huge pick. This year, he was traded to the Cardinals for the 23rd overall draft pick, so that means that Kyler Murray is now his quarterback, and I think that this could be a fun combo to give a try. Another top franchise player of mine is Mecole Hardman. He has 97 speed, and we could see a big year from him now that the Chiefs have lost Tyreek Hill. And the reason why I keep bringing up real life so much is because that if the players perform better there, then their cards will see improvements. However, this does work vice versa, so we just gotta hope Valdez-Scantling doesn't take away from his reps. So we just hit the halfway point in the list, and I think it's a good time to talk about how you should be using these players in Ultimate Team to give you a huge coin advantage day one. At the beginning of every Madden, fast players are broken. You're able to beat coverages super easily, which is why you're gonna want these players. So essentially, you're gonna have two options. You can either keep them on your team and abuse them once Weekend League comes, or you can decide to hold them and sell them when their price starts to rise. Depending on the version of Madden you get, at the beginning of the game, you might receive team packs where you choose what team you want your players to come from. If you get these, I would highly recommend going with the Dolphins because they just received Tyreek Hill and they have our 6th player on the list, Jaylen Waddle. Waddle's coming in at 97 speed, and we saw last season that he did really well in his rookie season. Personally, I had him on my fantasy team, so I was super excited when he started popping off. I think this year we'll be able to see similar results, especially when Waddle's paired with Tyreek Hill. And as much as I hate to say it, I think that the Dolphins are going to be a really fun team to use come Madden 23. Now our next player on the list is cornerback Kalon Barnes, and even though he has crazy speed being 98, I don't think that he has a better card than Woolen. Woolen has 96 acceleration, whereas Barnes only has 93. On top of that, Barnes is a 64 overall, whereas Woolen is a 66. It's not that big of a difference, but personally, I'm going with Woolen over Barnes 9 times out of 10. And moving back to the wide receiver role, our next player is Quez Watkins, coming in at 98 speed. Watkins currently plays at Philadelphia, and it looks like he's shaping up to be the wide receiver 3 for the team. I'm personally predicting a big season for Jalen Hurts, but there's no telling if Watkins will come away with insane numbers because he is behind AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Now, the second fastest player in Madden is Jameson Williams. He, just like Barnes and Thornton, is a rookie, so he has a huge chance of getting card upgrades throughout the year. He's also apparently getting the chance to be mentored by Calvin Johnson, so I'm expecting pretty big things. Williams showed his speed at Alabama last year, hitting more than 23 miles per hour on a 94-yard touchdown catch against Miami. That being said, he did tear his ACL in the college football championship, so he's slowly returning to that. And lastly, y'all already knew we have Tyreek Hill, and with that, I'm done.